So we're here at the Warrior Ranch. It's Thursday, the day before the veterans arrive for Operation Gunsmoke 3. It's the third year we've been doing this. The guys are coming in from all over, from Texas, from Arkansas. Some of the guys are from Missouri. We're just excited to have them. We have a family of volunteers and board members and community that are graciously welcoming them. We'll hang out with them a little bit, get to know them, and we can't wait for them to get here and visit the Warrior Ranch. The Warrior Ranch is for them. They don't know it yet, but they will before they leave. The guys arrived late last night, and they are preparing for qualifications for aerial target shooting. We'll have breakfast. Everybody's kind of getting to know each other, but through the activities that we provide, it allows donors and veterans and volunteers and everyone else to participate.
Pull.
One thing that we try to do is provide activities to where the guys can be together. So sporting clays is a perfect activity where you put guys in groups of 4 or 3 and they go to the stations and they can participate together and make fun of each other and have fun, and the camaraderie. A lot of these veterans do not know each other, so they're happy to meet another veteran, talk about where they've been. These events out here are not just for a group of guys that know each other to come out. They're for people that feel that they would like to experience something new, meet new people, and rehabilitate in a way I think only the outdoors can provide. We have 7 Purple Hearts here today. All of these guys have never been to the Warrior Ranch. They have never heard of Freedom Care Warrior Project before one of our guys called them. They have no idea what kind of weekend they're gonna have. So we woke up early this morning. We're ready and loaded out to the ranch, and we're just ready for a fantastic day of aerial hog shooting. I know that as many hogs are around here, these guys are gonna have a ball.
It's up around the bend, and it's only 60 miles till I'm getting in trouble again. Picked up Outwood and Joey, and I was cruising through the field. They're already slamming suds, cause we got time to kill. Johnny sees at the berry farms, getting primed up the cow, and I'm slamming on the gas, cause I ain't seen my boys in.
When we're up around the barn or the shed there at the house where we stage the helicopter, that's almost like a campfire. These guys, when they get together and they start talking their lingo, their military lingo, where were you? What did you serve? Were you infantry? Were you ranger? Were you, where were you hit? And they're packing clips and where's my ammo, and putting cool gadgets on their guns. I mean, they are in their element. And one thing that a lot of people don't understand is that when they retire, they get out of the Army and go back to civilian life, that's lost. A lot of that is lost. And this is one way where they can come back out here, and whether it's around a campfire or they're up there packing, putting scopes on and laser sights and all the things that are cool, that gives them an opportunity to get back in that element. It's amazing to see just the load come off of their shoulders. They get up there, and there's not, if they're in a brace, if they're have rods in their legs from being hit by an IED, all that's gone. They absolutely drop that and get right back into military mode, load cartridges, let's hammer pigs, and it's just an incredible sight to see. It's something that I want those donors to experience and see, that, man, you could walk through the crowd and just know you're making a difference by the way they're reacting, the way they're talking, the way they're not reserved. They're just comfortable.
I figured we saw maybe 10 to 15 of them, and we were so anxious, we just started shooting as fast as we could. But we hit 5 of them. So that was pretty good. I mean, I was happy with that. Yeah. So shooting is what we do, weapons are what we know. So we're coming out here and we're using weapons in a productive way. So in a way that's kind of getting us back into a normal life.
best experience since probably my whole military career. With the Vietnam vets and stuff like that, like just being around them and just the camaraderie and what they're doing for, you know, veterans and stuff is, I couldn't even thank them enough, you know. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, you come back from deployment and you're always in a hyper tense, you know, especially you're out there in Afghanistan, you could die at any time. So your senses kind of go up and stuff. When you come back to the States, it's kind of hard to turn that off. You just can't turn it on. It's not a light switch. So you have to find other ways. And instead of, you know, a lot of guys here in Fort Hood, you know, get motorcycles and, you know, do really dangerous stuff, you know, this organization here has a safety course. You know, you get all the training before you do this, and it was definitely a rush. I mean, I'm still kind of jittery right now.
It combines two things for me. It combines learning and meeting different military people and veterans and people who have served their country, and which I'm a big fan of those guys for what they do. But it also then allows me to come out and participate in the eradication program, so that makes it doubly sweet. So flying was great. The pilot's great. He put us right on the hogs, right on top of them. We had nice shots. It was a lot of fun. It was a great experience.
It definitely helps people come out of their shell, and that's pretty much all we're doing here is just trying to get soldiers to open up and to, you know, share, and that's what we're here for, you know, is to let them know that there's someone there that can associate with them and that they can talk to and they can bounce stuff off of, and give them the opportunity. They'll unload on you, you know. They just start pouring, you know, and that's good stuff for them.
I hit an ID, and I'm part of a route clearance package, so I drive a Husky, and that's the vehicle that's actually, you know, up front, that is supposed to be the one that, you know, detects them. And like I don't really remember much from hitting it. I just remember waking up and thinking like, oh man, this is it, you know, like this is when I punch out. It was a pretty big deal because it actually breached the hull of a Husky, which is a vehicle that's supposed to not be breached. It's pretty much supposed to be, I guess, impenetrable. My pelvis popped, I guess, popped out. A couple nerves in my back got twisted and popped out of where they're supposed to be. My lower disc, two of my lower discs got popped out. I had a pretty severe concussion, and my spine was off the base of my skull, a 1/4 inch. When they first told us about it, and they told us, you know, we was going to do the qualification part of it first, I was like, man, shooting from a helicopter, you know, that's awesome, but it's got to be difficult, you know. It sounds tough. But when you get up there and actually do it, you're like, you know, this actually felt real good. This was made me feel like a little kid again, I guess. You know, I tried to explain it to my wife, and I explained it to her like I was going to a theme park for the first time, you know, or doing something when you was younger for the first time. So it felt good and it was fun. It was just awesome. The pilot was incredible. We actually got to you know, shoot some hogs. I had, you know, so much fun. I can't even explain how awesome it was and how much I appreciate the opportunity to do it. This whole program helps. I mean, like, all of this is just physically, emotionally, mentally, like, you get to have some physical fun, and just talking to the guys, you know, you get emotional. And, you know, a lot of guys have, you know, I was real bad for it at first. You know, I couldn't talk about what happened. I didn't want to talk about what happened. And, you know, just being around guys like this, you know, people that had been through the same problems and, you know, seen some of the same things that, you know, you'd been through makes it a lot easier to talk about. You know, it's a pretty good program.
Our motto is think big and stay small. So yes, we could have a hog hunt and we could get out in trucks and go do that, but instead we want them to have an experience that's memorable, that they can go back to another veteran that might be in need of help or a getaway, to say, hey, contact Freedom Care Warrior Project. These guys are wholeheartedly a family, and when they leave here, we hope they feel like this is family, because it is. And they can participate, they can invite others, they can have a servant heart, and they can come back and volunteer at our events, like Major Rex Veers, Steve Merritt. Those guys have done these events and felt, you know, I want to be able to give back too.
For the warrior in transition, I think they're changing that term over to soldier in transition now, which is either a wounded, injured, or diseased soldier. We go through a process and a command called the Warrior Transition Unit. As we go through that, there's challenges that reside just in that surgical and healing and therapy process on the physical side, or the mental challenges of returning back from combat. that whole transition period is a tough time. Organizations like Freedom Care do a phenomenal job of helping bridge that gap, and they do that through outdoor therapy, and they do it through a warrior network.
So we train together as soldiers, and we fight together as soldiers. And then we come home, the brothers that you trained and fight with, they get scattered to the wind. You come here and you get around guys that have been downrange, that understand every single word you're saying, that whether it be the smells you talk about, which can be triggers, the sounds that are triggers, and you work through things together. You find techniques with the mental issues and the issues of trying to reintegrate into the civilian side of things, which moves at a incredibly slower pace.
You come out here to the Warrior Ranch, it's a peaceful place that offers therapy, and what it does is it offers communication. Right in front of me over there is an awesome fire pit that his family and my family and our kids have gotten around, and we've put hot dogs on and we've cooked s'mores on and let the kids run around and play, and we're able to talk without the distraction of the TV and the computers and whatnot. Communication is the oil in the machine. It keeps everything running. And this is a place where we're able to put that oil back in the machine and get the communication flowing and all talk together.
Tell you something else. I've been asked a million times, and I've seen it on TV and I've heard it on the radios, and I've heard people be extremely critical of, especially in lieu of the Fort Hood shootings and the situation with Chris Kyle being murdered. Why would you take a soldier who's got PTSD or who's come back from combat, who's got wounds, why would you take him and bring him back here and call putting a weapon in his hand therapy? Well, a lot of soldiers grew up hunting, enjoying the outdoors. As you can see out here, clay shooting, target shooting, doing some hunting on downrange. And it's, in one sense, it's a training mechanism that when you pull the trigger and you hear the sound, that bullet's going downrange and there's not another living human being on the end of that. That we can come home and we can still enjoy the things that we grew up doing. And we can still go hunting with our friends and our family members who enjoy those things. But we don't have to kill anybody. It's our tennis, it's our football, it's what we like to do. I wish I could take a handful of those people who carry that sentiment and bring them out here and let them see the magic of soldiers coming out here and breaking that bond between a weapon and killing a human, and bringing back the bond they had between shooting and fun and shooting and hunting. And that's why we do it.
This evening, we do a couple of things. We're gonna give thanks to all the volunteers, all the veterans, all the donors, everyone who participated, but we kind of go a step further because the donors are here participating in the helicopter. They've been here most of the weekend, the sporting clays, the helicopter qualifying, but we invite them on Saturdays. We're gonna bring a band in here. We're gonna have food. We're gonna have a great time, but we encourage them to bring their family and friends. We want to share what we're doing with the majority out here. We feel like, you know, if we have good people, servant-hearted people out here, they're gonna invite servant-hearted people to volunteer, to represent us and help a veteran maybe they know.
At the time of we came under a rocket attack, and they hit our camp, and there was shrapnel from the rocket that exploded just below my room, threw shrapnel up and hit me in multiple places. They didn't expect me to live, and so they brought my wife up there to be able to say goodbye to me. I was coming out of brain surgery because I took shrapnel that shattered my skull and lodged in my brain. The best part of this weekend for me was being able to, you know, be alive again and do things with people, and being able to meet and talk with other warriors, and being around people that we have an instant camaraderie just based on past experiences, and people that helped put this whole thing together and were helping with other people, and that is what became a bigger deal for me, and that was absolutely what made it worthwhile, even though I wasn't able to, to do the aerial shooting or stuff like that.
One thing Freedom Care Warrior Project wants to encourage anybody out there, there's so many people out there that have servant hearts. There's so many veterans out there that need help. And listen, this is a family atmosphere. This is not, we got a bigger helicopter, or it has nothing to do with that. All it has to do with, we are a third party that has a process that can rehabilitate someone that's not in a good position. And by coming out here and meeting other veterans that might be in your position, that might have gone through something similar that you've gone through, that you can talk to, being a patriot, I'm not someone you can talk to. I haven't been there. I don't want to act like I've been there, but I'm going to put people on this ranch that make you feel comfortable, that are good, solid guys and girls that you can talk to, you can feel comfortable around, you can laugh with, you can have fun, you can fish, you can hunt, you can do nothing. You can sit out here by the campfire and do absolutely nothing if that's what you want to do. It's just a place where you can do that. Our mission at Freedom Care Warrior Project is to rehabilitate veterans of any era. If you think that this ranch and this camaraderie will help you, then we will either, you can come here or we'll get you here. We will do everything we can to get you here.
Hunting and outdoors has always been big to me ever since I started growing up. I've been an avid hunter, I've been an avid fisher. There's something about being out in the wild, out in nature, and being a part of that that's healing and restorative and just really helpful to my psyche anyway. And then when they combined helicopters with aerial depredation, it just became a fit that this was something that I had to do. And that was get out into a helicopter and shoot at hogs and get rid of them. Rex is on the same team in the CBWTU that I am. We both have the same nurse case manager and the same platoon sergeant. So I was brought up to their attention that I was a special case. I mean, I've been diagnosed with a severe form of cancer. Not many people have recovered from this. And so they're doing what they can to make sure that I'm getting out and not becoming complacent and sitting at home and getting all the negative thoughts and getting the suicidal tendencies and actions that occur when you're in a very dark place like that. They're trying to keep me involved and engaged and be a good mentor. Freedom Care events really bring out the best in veterans and the best in those that are becoming veterans, because it still shares that camaraderie. You're still doing something you used to love to do. So the Freedom Care events like this where I get to get out, get away from the house, quit thinking about the disease, quit thinking about all the negative stuff, and just enjoy myself and have fun. These are really healing events. It's great for the veterans to be able to come out and interact with other veterans because they see they're not the only ones going through this. You know, their packet's sitting at the VA for another 6 months at least. They're not the only ones going through that. So they see this and they now have the ability to relate to others and relate to other veterans and realize that, you know, I'm not the only one in these shoes. It's not woe is me, it's okay, I've got another brother I can help out now by doing the same thing.
We do okay? Y'all are ready.
It's a completely different war than it was. I look at what happened to my dad when he came back from Vietnam and the stories I heard and the stuff I read in the books. We've got so many organizations and so many people that really want to help and are really trying to do something towards veterans and to help progress them. And you look at what Jamie's doing with this program, and you look at Rex trying to help other veterans and get them all involved and get Freedom Care to be even something bigger, you really look at how much time people are putting into this and how much they're sacrificing now for the veterans. It's really something good to see. We're progressing, we're actually taking care of those that we need to take care of now and honor our commitment to them for their commitment to us.